Hi there and welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth. My name's Anna Pirelli. The comments that you see here are my views, beliefs, opinions, and sometimes they are not even my fully formed views, beliefs, and opinions. However, they are my understandings. Please do retain an open mind and reflect on any of the content and your comfort levels. If your views differ, please feel free to leave a comment. Also remember, it is possible to disagree in respectful ways. My way is not necessarily your way and vice versa. You might also find that some of the content on this playlist in regard to spiritual or universal laws, it resonates with you, meaning it feels right to you, while other laws may not feel right or they may not feel comfortable. If this is the case, the information is either not right for you or it is not right for you right now, and it might never be right for you at any given time. It really doesn't matter. As an earthy and practical person, I can put my hand up with all honesty and say that I have at different times had the same feelings about some of the content in here, and with some of them I still have a level of skepticism within my viewpoints, but I choose to retain an open mind about the things that I don't fully understand for a few reasons. Firstly, because I believe it would be supreme arrogance to think that we all know all of the answers while we have a body. And because what is right for one of us is not necessarily right or suitable for all of us, and I choose to respect the differences. Please do leave your opinions, beliefs. Feel free to argue the points in a respectful way with any of the content on the slides and even my interpretations. And if you feel that you can add clarity around some of the content, we would all love to see it. Thank you. For now, though, let's explore the laws.
All creation is governed by law. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. Contained within these laws, or conditions, is the true nature of matter. Knowledge of these laws has an effect upon the mental urges. Mind is the builder. Stay in full mindfulness of the application of universal law as related to self and to others, and know that in love all life is given, in love all things move. In giving one attains, in giving one acquires. In giving, love becomes the fulfillment of desire, guided and directed in the ways that bring the more perfect knowledge of self as related to the universal, all-powerful, all-guiding, all divine influence in life. Love is life. When we go back, merge with the God source, in some infinitesimal but profound way, we expand the mind of God. Our higher self always points the best and most perfect way, and it is ours to listen and choose or reject what we hear. It does not blame, but patiently tries again to show the perfect way, the loving way. All of creation pushes forth. We are ever becoming. Identity ever remains. Universal Law number 36. The law of group life. Not only must man fulfill and love his family and national obligations, but he must think in the wider terms of humanity itself, and so bring the law of brotherhood into expression. Brotherhood is a group quality. Questions of self such as, will my action tend to the group good? Will the group suffer or hurt if I do this action? Abiding by these actions will gradually become part of our racial consciousness, and our civilization will adjust itself to these new conditions. All aspects of life of God are interdependent, and when one proceeds to fuller expression, all of the group benefit.
So I do understand within the law of group life that when we talk about the love of family, what we're talking about is accepting and caring for family members. What we would some refer to as family responsibilities. I see this law as stating that we must think in terms of the wider humanity with care and regard for all of our citizens. So if I unpack this a little bit, I kind of interpret this as saying that, we've all got an obligation of responsibility to our family members, which of course within the Western world, this has become a little bit difficult to do. I mean, historically in the past, regardless of whether or not we approved our parents' parenting styles or whatever, we as Westerners also still stepped up to the plate and made sure that we cared for them in their dotage. And in fact, my own nana, she used to care for those old people that didn't have family living anymore, that weren't able to take care of them. But anyway, it's not so much, I learned this when I was doing my social work degree, that within the Western context, it's less and less common. The Asian communities and the African communities, they still do take care of their parents when they become elderly and frail and that kind of thing. But in the Western context, it tends to be that we pass the responsibilities over to the state now, because our parents can get an old age pension and then they can get the healthcare packages, and care is primarily provided through these organisations, and it's not necessarily good quality of care, I might add, in a lot of instances. But the idea behind this provision of care, or the way I see it, is that if the state is providing the care, then that provides employment opportunities for people to generate income. It also liberates the children to go out and generate income. So there's that collective agenda, shall we say, or motivation. I'm not sure it's in the best best interest of the elderly or the vulnerable, but I do understand why they do it, certainly within the West Australian context. I'm not saying that I agree with it. In fact, actually, I don't. Sorry. I think it's terribly sad as a society that family members, within Western society, that family members, the children are unable to care for their parents, or that they've got to the stage that they judge them so harshly for whatever failings they believe the parents have got, that they wouldn't care for them in their dotage. I mean, realistically, this is just my thoughts. I'm venting and airing and sharing with you. The way I look at it, or the terms, how I came to terms with it, was that I recognised that my parents were products of their own upbringing, and that, they weren't perfect. They didn't meet all of my expectations that I would have liked. In fact, I could judge them quite harshly. But I choose not to judge them that harshly, because I realise they are products of their own environment, their own growing up. Whether I like how they brought us up or not, I actually understand that they really did do the best that they could with what they had. And then once you kind of reach that position, then it's a lot easier to forgive them. My parents, by the way, I don't have to care for them, because they are quite psychologically independent, and they have made choices for themselves about how they want to be cared for in their dotage. And so, each to their own. There's a level of autonomy there. There's free will that's got to be respected. But I just think it's really sad sometimes in some situations. And I think the risk is kind of outlined in this law, where it talks about national obligations. That's the citizenry, I think. So I think that becomes the case of, and we need to be, I think, as humans, all mindful of this, that when people are in pain, they get really grumbly. And by that I mean, you would see people turn around saying, well, why do I have to pay more tax? It's not fair, these old people, or whatever. I'm just using examples. They're just a bunch of bludgers, whatever. Most people don't apply that to, obviously, the elderly, but the point I'm trying to make is that the citizenry can start to really resent having to pay taxes to take care of vulnerable people. So it probably is in the best interest of creating situations where we can return to that time frame where people take care of their family, because if we look after our parents and our vulnerable, then we're also taking the responsibility off our brothers and sisters, I guess. I'm just thinking out loud here and just trying to unpack it. Anyway, I think I might stop waffling about this now and just leave it for you to put your comments up. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye for now.